So, how is everyone? I hope you're all well. So, what it seems is happening now is that they are trying to crack down on the online rumour mill. And they've come out and sort of lashed back at some of the things that have been said. And there's been a lot been said, isn't there? And who knows what is right and what is wrong. And to be fair, the majority of the confusion has been caused by law enforcement and their flip-flopping between things. But we're going to have a read through something which is just sort of touching on what they're saying is rumour and what they're kind of saying is likely to be, I don't know, factual. Is there anything factual in this at the moment? And it's interesting some of the people who don't get mentioned as well. See if you can pick up on that. We're going to go quickly over to Dogcam. There is Dogcam. He's awake anyway. He's awake and he's eating a teddy of some description that actually belongs to the cat. So that's not going to go down well, is it? Hey, dog. Smile to the camera. Smile to the camera. Hello? No, he's too busy. Oh, rodent. Oh, rodent. Oi. Hello? Smile. There he is. Now you can go back on with eating your toy now. See you in a bit. So, dog cam. So, yeah. What I will say is, look, there's been some flack taken because of Jeremy. Because I keep saying that Jeremy's weird. And look, I'm not saying Jeremy's done anything. I'm not. But what I will say to people is, look, it's common knowledge that it's kind of what is seen a lot in cases, and especially these high-profile cases, that someone who is involved in it pushes themselves forward and gets in front of the camera at any opportunity that they can. And Jeremy has just sort of fell into that category as someone who has done that. If you're not familiar with the Holly Wells and Jessica Chapman murders, please go and have a look at it. Go and have a look at what happened in that case and who turned out to be the killer. And it's things like this that make Jeremy look suspicious. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he's done anything. And look, all I'm saying is this kind of thing is exactly why he looks so suspicious. And look, that's all I'm saying. I've got nothing else to say beyond that. But let's have a quick look through this document. And in a bit, I'm just going to talk about who was trending literally right up to these murders and see if you're shocked or not. So, what am I doing? We're going to swap over to this, aren't we? Now when you forget how to use things. So, authorities swat down rumours surrounding unsolved killings of 4 University of Idaho students. Authorities in a small Idaho city, I'm not going to read it word for word, we know where it was, that had not recorded a murder in years, since 2015, remember. The stabbing deaths in Moscow, home near the University of Idaho's main campus on November 13th, have been shrouded in agonising mystery. Not just mystery, fucking confusion, and most of the confusion caused by law enforcement. Leading to apprehension amongst the campus community as the suspect or suspects remain on the loose. There is speculation without factual backing, stoking community fears and spreading false facts, the Moscow Police Department said in a news release Friday. We encourage referencing official releases for accurate information and updated progress. Really? Hold on, I've just got to address this. So this report is saying that you've got to listen to the official reports that keep changing. There we go. Right, so back to it. Kaylee Madison, Xana and Ethan were likely stabbed multiple times in their sleep mere days before Thanksgiving break. Police said the horrific deaths have rattled Moscow a college town of some 25,000 people which hasn't recorded a single murder since 2015. Nearly 3 weeks on, police have not located the murder weapon nor made any arrests, but in an attempt to clear up false information that's been spreading about the case, Moscow police have debunked several theories in what they're calling rumour control. None of the victims in the quadruple homicide were tied and gagged, refuting online reports. A report of a skinned dog weeks before the killings is not connected with the case, according to police, and deceased animals left on the resident's property elsewhere were determined to be wildlife activity. That dog eat dog world, I'm guessing. Additionally, police noted the students' killings are not related to two other stabbing incidents in neighbouring states, Washington and Oregon, in 1999 and 2021, respectively, which may share similarities, but there does not appear to be any evidence to support these cases are related, according to their news release. We'll put a pin in that, and we'll probably be back onto this next week. Police also reassured the public at a September incident which involved an argument between a group of people, it's not people, they were students, walking on the University of Idaho bike path, and a cyclist who displayed a folding knife is not connected to the students' killings. I can handle that. The individual involved turned himself in and charges were referred to the Moscow City Attorney's Office, police said. And although police have said they don't know who carried out the killings, they have released information eliminating some people as suspects. Most recently, a person listed on the lease of the residence where the killings happened, police said Friday. So that will be our sixth person. I do know who that is now. And I believe that's the right move. They have spoken to this individual and confirmed they moved out prior to the start of the school year and was not present at the time of the incident. Detectives do not believe this person has any involvement in the murders, Moscow police said. And by the looks of it, they weren't even anywhere near this area. Police have also ruled out the two surviving roommates who were in the house at the time of the killings and other people inside the house when the 911 call was made. The person who made the 911 call alerting authorities to the home after the killings has not been identified, police said Friday. I did a video on the 911 call. If you've not seen it, please head over and check that out, because that also does away with a lot of confusion. So, Goncalves and Mogan, two of the victims, were driven home by someone after the pair purchased food from a truck. Hours before they were killed, authorities have ruled out the driver as a suspect. Additionally, a man seen in the surveillance video from the food truck visited by Goncalves and Mogan, and another man the pair called numerous times in the hours before their deaths, were also ruled out as suspects by police. So that may be tactical, perhaps, who knows? I think we know who they're talking about there. Conflicting information. It remains unclear how close authorities are to releasing information about a potential suspect. Have you clocked on who hasn't been mentioned yet? Only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public, Moscow police noted Friday. But some details released by authorities since the start of the investigation have required further clarification. The week Moscow police noted and backtracked comments from the Latah County prosecutor that said the suspect specifically looked at the residence and that one or more of the occupants were undoubtedly targeted. Cited on Wednesday as a miscommunication between departments, Moscow police said detectives do not currently know if the residents or any occupants were specifically targeted. Now, bear with me. On Thursday, Moscow police attempted to clarify the key conflicting information once and for all. Right, here we go. We remain consistent in our belief that this was a targeted attack, but investigators have not concluded if the target was the residents or if it was the occupants, police said in a news release. Authorities have also needed to clarify other information, including initially saying on November 15th that the attacks were isolated and targeted. That did not put the community in imminent threat. The following day, Moscow Police Chief James Fry said police were not definitive in concluding the public was not at risk. So, where does the investigation stand now? The evidence collected so far includes 113 pieces of physical evidence, about 4,000 photos of the crime scene, and several 3D scans of the home, Moscow police said on Thursday. Detectives have received testing and analysis of the crime scene evidence from Idaho State Police Forensic Services, and they will continue to receive the results of additional tests according to police. To protect the investigation's integrity, specific results will not be released, police said. So they've got something. Detectives also collected the contents of 3 dumpsters on the street where the house is located and seized 5 nearby vehicles to be processed for evidence, according to police. As for the murder weapon, believed to be a fixed blade knife, detectives contacted local businesses regarding the knife. In the days leading up to the killers, investigators are also relying on a trove of public tips, photos and videos of the nights the students died, including more than 260 digital submissions that people have submitted through an FBI form, police said. Authorities have processed more than 1,000 tips and conducted at least 150 interviews to advance the case. Further, multiple agencies and law enforcement personnel are investigating the homicides. More than 30 employees, including detectives, patrol officers, and support staff from Moscow Police Department, are working on the case, police have said Friday in a news release. The FBI has devoted 22 investigators in Moscow, 20 agents through the county, and 2 investigators from the agency's behavior analysis unit, police said. Plus, there are 20 Idaho State Police investigators assigned to Moscow, and an additional 15 uniformed troopers are patrolling the community, forensic services, and a mobile crime scene team from the state police are also working the case. So, they're doing a fair bit. They're doing it. But this targeted, untargeted, house targeted, occupants targeted, this seems to be a huge sticking point that just can't get an answer. And I think as this goes on, I think we have to consider that the issue is that it was targeted. I think they know that it was targeted. They know who was targeted, but they know if they release that to the public, that it could sort of give a nudge to the perpetrator. So they're put against a rock and a hard place. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the issue here. Caught between the devil and the deep blue sea. But speaking about who could have been the target, we've looked at different people. We've heard things about the injuries that we don't know whether they were true or not. Seemingly, it would appear that potentially not. The only thing that I can kind of think was absolutely accurate would be the 911 call information, because it does fully make sense. But in terms of the trending individual was actually Kara Knodel. Kara Knodel is the mum of Xana. She has a history of numerous things involving drugs, narcotics, trafficking. She's got a checkered history, and I'm not saying this is connected, but she was trending right up to the day with which this happened. Coincidence? Of course it could be. Could be a coincidence. But at the end of the day, if this was targeted, then someone was targeted, and they were targeted for a reason. If we're now saying that certain people have been ruled out, that rules out certain targets. And at the moment, there's a massive great neon light above one of these girls' heads. And it could be completely wrong. Could be completely wrong. People have pointed out, quite rightly, this doesn't seem like what I would call a cartel hit. It's a bit sloppy, seems a bit emotional. But who knows? Could it have been made to look like that? There's been conversations about how this person got into the house through the rear of the house, so it meant that they wouldn't have had to have ventured downstairs. Hence why we have some survivors here. Maybe they knew who was in there and where they would be. And maybe, just maybe, some of them that were in that house up on them levels were just in the wrong place at the wrong time. But a lot's going on. Later on, I'll be doing a quick video just to touch on the trending of Kylie Rodney. Now, was she indeed trending, or have people got that data wrong? Who knows? But I'll catch you all in the next one.